Would you drop your 8 or 9-year-old off in Grand Central Station and say, I'll come see you in a few hours? No, he'd be horrified by the potential scenarios that could play out with people accessing your child, right? Who would be trying to communicate with your child and what would they be saying and what would they be exposed to? And that's what these apps are doing. They're just creating a very convenient way and a hidden way for who knows who's accessing your child.
Hello and welcome to AI for Student Success, being productive and learning future skills. My name is Josh Ochs. I'm the founder. We have an incredible guest for you here tonight, but more importantly, if you're a parent who wants to learn AI skills to enhance your students' love of learning, their educational experience, their preparation for their bright future, you're in the right place. We have an absolute expert here for you tonight to give us insights from a school district perspective. You're going to get tips and techniques also on what the best teachers, students, and parents and experts are doing to make sure your kid is prepared for their future. I'm Josh Ochs, and I'm excited about what we're going to show you here tonight, and I want to welcome all of you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Kara Casimiro. I'm the superintendent of the Danbury Public Schools in Connecticut. Danbury, Connecticut is in the lower western corner of the state, and we are one of the most diverse school systems in the state. We have the largest high school in the state. We have about 12,000 students, and we have been very active in being proactive in some of the topics that we'll be discussing tonight. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Superintendent, it's so great to have you here. I want to walk you through 3 tools that we're hearing school districts using the most. I'd love to learn from you just a little bit. The 3 major AI tools on the market right now that we're seeing that parents and students are using are first, ChatGPT. It's owned by OpenAI.com. You've heard of this one. It's the original AI tool that is now 2 years old, just about. You have access to the web in most circumstances. It's getting better. It can create gorgeous images. The next one we're going to look at tonight or today is Gemini.google.com. It's owned by Google. They call it Gemini. Full access to the web, limited image creation. It's getting better though. And then Claude. Claude's another one. It's a beast. It's owned by Anthropic, perhaps the best at reasoning in some cases, although ChatGPT is getting better. It doesn't do images. It doesn't do internet access. Superintendent, I want your insight. Which one are you seeing being used the most in your community?
Sure. I think folks, if they're doing general searches on the internet, I think that they're experiencing Gemini, right? So a lot of our normal Google searches have been enhanced with assistance through AI. So that has been kind of interesting. So I think whether people are conscious or not about it, they're experiencing some of AI on a regular basis now just through their generalized searching. But I think the tool that most folks are familiar with who have been experimenting a little bit and piloting is ChatGPT. And that's certainly the one that our district has utilized the most in our discussions around how we're going to approach, enhance, and utilize artificial intelligence as far as a school community goes. So the ChatGPT, I use it all the time. I've been blown away by its capabilities, and my own experience with it is been around how I'm refining, what you put in is what you get back, and how am I refining my engineering of my questions and prompts so that I get a desired product that I'm looking for. Just recently, I used it. I have a Board of Education meeting coming up, and I was curious about other policies. And I was able to enter some prompts in to scour all of the Connecticut public school policies around cell phone use, for example. So what would have taken me probably days to research took literally 30 seconds to lay out the policies, the reference, the page number, the exact quotes, and the explicitness in a table format that I can share with colleagues for a meeting. The amount of work that it would save someone like myself or anyone in my field is unbelievable. And so what we're trying to do now is to distill down what are the practical applications in a classroom? What are the practical applications for teaching? I think initially, and this really goes across all 3 of these platforms, ChatGPT is probably the most well-known, but what's acceptable use? And I think we're trying to move folks away from being scared of it. The kids are going to cheat with it or it's dishonest to how do you use it as a productivity tool? And how much more time could you spend on other things that the kids need to learn or have access to that you can use these tools to save time and energy. So it requires thinking differently. It requires teaching differently. So we're excited that we're diving into it, but we're really at the exploration stage like most districts.
Yeah, that's excellent. So Superintendent, we're going to dive into a little tiny educational thing that we give to parents, and I want your insights on this. Let's watch this together. We're going to look at prompt engineering for all the parents watching right now. Prompt engineering is not a scary term. I'm going to teach you what it is, and this may change the game for you on how you know what to put into the model. And another thing the superintendent just said that is so brilliant. Every tool has AI in it. And the superintendent just said, basically, AI is everywhere. Without saying that, she said that you're using Gemini without knowing it when you're Googling. Inside of Facebook or Meta of any sorts, which owns Facebook and Instagram, you're using AI now, all these things. So let's dive into prompt engineering. Parents, I want to show you prompt engineering. Prompt engineering essentially is asking a question in a specific way to get the best answer from AI. Now let's show you an example. Let's learn how we can cook better using AI. We're going to use this paragraph of text, and I'm going to analyze it using colors. Now, we don't put colors into AI, but I think they're helpful for us to understand what we're doing here. First, we're going to tell AI how it should think so it can unlock all the knowledge in that subject or domain. You'll see right here, I wrote, pretend you're a chef that makes healthy food. Next, we're going to write in green, I want to make something delicious for dinner for my 2 kids and wife. We're going to tell it what we're going to do with the information so it has context. Next, we're going to give it specific input. I have 3 frozen chicken breasts, 3 sweet potatoes, some broccoli, a lemon, some eggs, almond milk, chickpeas, and so on. And then last, make me 2 recipe options with measurement instructions and clear steps a beginner like me can follow. We're defining the way that the outcome should be formatted or how many outcomes there should be. Now let's go ahead and take this and dive on into AI. Now we're over to ChatGPT version 4.0, and we're going to drop that exact paragraph in and ask it to give us the recipe. So option 1, lemon herb chicken with quinoa and roasted vegetables. It's going to give us the ingredients list of exactly what we need from the refrigerator. It might even get creative and throw in a couple other things it hopes that we have. In addition, it gives us instructions for a beginner like me. Thaw the chicken, preheat the oven, prepare the vegetables, step by step. And you can ask it for more information from there. I want to add this or do this and so on. Now let's have AI help us create a morning routine for a teenager. The first thing we're going to tell it is pretend you are an expert at a morning routines with a background as a life coach, a nutritionist, and a morning person. Sometimes I'll even say with 20 plus years of experience. And that tells AI how it should think because it has all of the world's data from the internet. We're basically saying, put on this hat or this hat and give us the answer from this perspective so that it can unlock all the knowledge in that subject or domain. The next thing we put in green here is help me to become a morning person by creating a morning routine in a timeline. We're telling it what we're going to do with the information so it has context. This is a great example for a teen to use AI to better their life. Now, in red, these are the tasks I need to complete before school. Exercise, take out the dog for a walk, shower, get ready, eat breakfast. And we're giving it specific input. The more, the better, believe it or not. Some of my friends say, you're kind of crazy, you're giving it all this data, and then they are shocked at the outcome. And last, define the way the outcomes should be formatted or how many outcomes there should be. So my goal is to be 5 minutes early for school each day. You could put 10 maybe. I wake up at 6:30 and I need to ride my bike to school at 7:30 to be on time. Let's go ahead and put this into ChatGPT. Okay, we're back over to ChatGPT. I'm going to click this little button in the upper left to create a new chat. It's that easy. Then I'm going to drop in the prompt that we just created, and I'm going to press enter. Now, this is so neat. Let's create a morning routine for a teenager who wants to optimize their day to get ready to learn at school. Morning routine timeline, 6:30 a.m. Wake up. Start your day by getting out of bed promptly. All right, so superintendent, you can see a little bit about the prompt engineering that we're teaching people. Parents who are watching this, if your school district is a partner, you can watch the rest of that prompt engineering discussion, which gets really nerdy. And this is what the future is making sure we know how to use this as a family. Parents, you just saw how to cook. Even a guy like me that's not a good cook, it taught me everything I need to know. Okay, superintendent, I'm gonna have you give your insights. First of all, let's pause for a sec. Can you give us in 30 seconds or so, what's your background? Before you became a superintendent, what was your role that you started out in education?
Sure. I was a teacher for about 16 years in a variety of backgrounds, primarily social studies, and I worked with alternative education students as well before becoming a curriculum administrator and working in central office. So I spent quite a few years, my formative years as a teacher in the classroom.
Amazing. So I want to get that insight, that brilliant insight you have as when you started in education, so close to the students, working with them every day. Parents, we're going to walk through all these vertical videos. We're going to call them reels, if you will, and we're going to answer questions that other parents have with some of these videos. And then we're going to get insights from the superintendent so that you can see how districts are approaching this and what we can do as parents moving forward. Now, parents are asking us, superintendent, Josh, AI sounds really intimidating. What's a practical way I can use it inside of an app that I already have? Well, let me show you how you can use it inside of the Google app for free. Let's dive on into this. Did you know you have a free AI tool in your back pocket? First, go to the App Store on your iPhone and search for the Google app. It looks like that. Now download it and log in with your Gmail address. Now look for the star icon at the top and tap on that. You can see it right there. This opens and activates the Google Gemini AI feature inside of the app. Next, click on the voice icon down at the bottom and ask it a question with your own voice. It will not only provide an answer, but it'll also read it back to you. Let's try one. Has it ever snowed on the 4th of July in the USA? Where did it snow? This is perfect for learning on the go, whether you're in the car or at home. And it's a great way for kids to learn important things, and you can make it a fun family activity.
The most famous example is the event that occurred in Ely, Minnesota in 1917, when a blizzard blanketed the town in over 3 feet of snow.
Visit smartsocial.com for over 400 resources to keep your family safe. Superintendent, I'd like your insight onto this. What would you recommend that parents ask AI? This is a very simple example. What would you recommend that parents ask AI more to be better at either parenting or their life, their career? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, even just recently, as a parent, I had questions about my income tax return and how much I should be doing. And I was really confused on just some recent changes. And so I was feeding information in to try to, here's my personal situation. Obviously, I'm not going to put my private data in there, but I did create a scenario with which I was able to get a generic response back and better position myself for finances. When it comes to things like school, which is what most parents should be interested in, really using it to kind of break down, there's a variety of things. One, how do I access the school system in a way that helps me support my child, but also how do I support them through with their academics? So there's just an unlimited amount of opportunity, but it starts with just trying out the tools and understanding what each can produce. And then over time, as you refine, understanding what prompts yield specific results that gets you what you need. And like anything else, it takes time and practice, but even just starting with simple searches for daily tasks. The recipe was a great example that you used in a previous clip. It made me hungry, but simple tasks that you're struggling for that you would take maybe any length of time to try to figure out or put effort into, a tool like Google Gemini or ChatGPT can wrestle up some information very quickly with which you can use to make decisions or planning. It's amazing.
Yeah, awesome. And I agree on everything you just said. Now, parents are also asking us, Superintendent, how can I use AI to help my child with their homework when the teacher's not available? Well, parents, let me share how your child can use ChatGPT as a tutor. Let's dive into this one. Parents or teens, have you ever struggled to really fully understand a difficult topic? For teens, it might be physics. For parents, it might be something totally different. If you've ever struggled with something like that, you're going to want to watch this video. Now, imagine you're studying a difficult concept like physics, but the textbook's explanation is really dense. It's hard to digest. Happens to me all the time. Instead of skipping over that section or feeling overwhelmed, here's how you can use a tool like ChatGPT effectively. Now, first, you need to talk to your teachers or a trusted adult to make sure they're okay with this technique. Now, for example, maybe you're confused about how the Doppler effect works. Consider copying a specific section from your textbook that you might find confusing. You can then paste that text into ChatGPT or any other AI tool that maybe your school approves of and ask, AI, can you explain this in simpler terms? Now, make sure to specify any parts that are tricky to you or any specific questions you have. Sometimes I ask it, can you explain this topic in 5 to 10 bullets? Now, the AI tool will then respond with a simplified explanation. If there's still a part of it you don't understand, you can ask it to simplify the explanation more until you understand that part of it clearly. We call that refining the answer. Then you can use this explanation to revise your notes and better study. Now, don't just read the simplified version, try and engage with it. Compare it with your textbook to see how the concepts match up and where the gaps in your understanding are. The goal here is that you retain the information so you can do well on your own on a test, where you can explain it to your teacher in the future and really understand the concept. We're not asking it to do our work, we're asking it to deepen our understanding of complex material. Superintendent, what are your thoughts on that? What would you tell parents about helping their kids to tutor them at home if a parent is struggling on a certain topic?
Sure. I think one of the greatest facets of this is that you can give ChatGPT or these AI-assisted technologies context. You can also put in your learning style. So you may have a child at home that has a particular learning style that's not being met by the way that the content is being delivered. You can ask ChatGPT to present that content with a specific learning style in mind, whether it's breaking something down in a linear fashion, whether it is creating more visual opportunities to understand the content, whether it be through video, could be through song. However, a child learns best. You can ChatGPT and these AI tools will be able to create that for you. The other thing is really about accessibility of content. So you can put a prompt in, but someone's reading level may not be a parent who's helping, they have struggle with a particular reading level. Maybe they have a processing issue. So you can ask ChatGPT to create something that was on a college level reading level and distill it down to a 4th or 5th grade reading level to make that content more accessible so that the major concepts are still understood, but yet the person is not inhibited by the lexile or the text complexity level of something. So there's a variety of ways that you can use this to tap in and access, in addition to obviously researching just about anything you could think of.
All great points. I wrote down, put in your learning style or put the answer in the learning style. I love that. The next question that parents ask is, how do teachers think students should be using AI in the classroom? And I want to show all the parents watching right now and teachers, let me show you how some other teachers suggest your child can use AI in the classroom. This is an actual English teacher. Let's dive on into it.
Using AI to brainstorm early in the process, that's probably safer. The earlier in the process, the better. I worry, though, about kids who are not confident in their own writing. They're more likely to be like, oh, this is what this computer spat back and it looks really good. I'm going to maybe change one or two words. To me, that's not creative. If you're really struggling for ideas, if a teacher gives you a prompt on the motivation of a certain character in a book that you have actually read, but you have no idea what the teacher's asking you, sure, I think it's okay to look at a computer-generated response to that. The only way to handle these admittedly very gray areas right now is constant communication. Hey, when is it okay in my writing process, in my researching process, when is it okay for me to use these tools? As long as that communication is clear, AI generated text can be useful in an early stage in all of these processes.
Superintendent, what are your thoughts on that? What would you tell teachers and parents about early in the process versus late? And I'd like to get 30 seconds of you as well on what does cheating look like with this?
When students are in that ideation stage and they reach a point where they're like, did I capture everything? Did I consider all facets of a topic? Is there another viewpoint to consider that I haven't considered? I think it's wonderful to then check yourself and say, well, what else is out there on this topic that I might not be generating for myself? And that is where this becomes very powerful. And I've used it myself for that when considering something that was controversial that I was dealing with here as a superintendent. Am I considering all the facets to this argument, to this work, to this movement? And I used it to do that for me. So what are the pros? What are the cons? What are the benefits? To do a SWOT analysis on something so you understand what the strengths and the threats are for making a move in a different direction. So in many cases, and even recently, oh, geez, I forgot about that. And so then that set me on a quest to learn more about some things, but I would not have encountered that information, I think, very easily, or could have gotten to a late stage of writing or in my response and not have that facet or viewpoint considered or handled in my response, my text, my writing. So I do think I love the idea of using it in the early stages. There's a ton of tools out there that are assisting folks when they are writing in the final stages with their grammar, right? And predictive words and helping you phrase things to make things more smoothly. I don't think that there's anything wrong with sort of the refinement at the end or the early stages. Where kids have to be very careful is, I put no effort into this project whatsoever, and I'm going to have ChatGPT write this essay for me. That's an ethical consideration that needs to be addressed. And certainly you can use AI to brainstorm and you can actually help it use your refine. But I think that we have to have a lot of conversations with students about authenticity and academic integrity and what that means and being the owner of your own work and your writing.
Yeah, so well said. Excellent. So Superintendent, some school districts have asked us, we're seeing students creating AI companions. Are you seeing this nationwide? What are the dangers? And so here's some of the best practices we've found and how students are chatting. Parents, I think this is of really great value to you. And then we're going to show you right after this video, we're going to get insights from the superintendent on AI chatbots, and we're going to dive in and wrap this up. So here we go. Parents, do you know what AI chatbots are and how they might be interacting with your kids? At smartsocial.com, we're big fans of AI. It's an incredible tool for tutoring students on subjects of all topics. However, lately, we've been hearing some concerns from school administrators. They say some students are creating AI friends, even AI girlfriends and boyfriends. These chatbots are keeping kids from focusing on their schoolwork. Now, anything that pulls our focus away from learning is a problem. These AI companions are designed to be easy to talk with and available 24/7 for teens. And that convenience can lead students to rely on them instead of learning to navigate real-life friendships. Be sure to have an open dialogue with your kids about why it's vital for our students to interact with peers in real life and make in-person friends. Superintendent, I'd like to get your feedback on some of the latest apps that we're seeing. This is a scary one. These are what we call the red zone apps, Superintendent. At SmartSocial, when I started the company almost a dozen years ago, we developed a red zone, green zone, gray zone, and orange zone. These are the different zones. Parents kept saying, Josh, thanks for flying to our city. I want to know where this app fits in the buckets of safety. And so the red zone is a dangerous zone full of anonymous behavior and all kinds of maybe dangerous people. C.AI is a new app. It's number 47 on the most popular app list for iPhones. It's character AI, chat, talk, text. And here's how they market themselves to kids. AI chat just got real. Millions of user-created characters you can chat with, interactive entertainment, live like a real call. It'll actually respond to you and personalize help tailored just for you. A lot of students are going to this for dating advice, for all kinds of personal advice. Another one that we're seeing, Superintendent, looks a lot like the Discord app. Parents, if you don't know what Discord is, it's also in our Red Zone app guide. It is a chat app. Discord's a chat app around video games, talking with real kids at school, typically, or strangers. And Poly.ai is a new app. It's creating an AI chatbot for your kids to chat with. You can explore countless characters, red flag, your conversations your way, red flag, and bring your imagination to life. Once again, this is top 15 in entertainment. Kids are using this all over. And the last app I want to show you, Superintendent, and get your insights on is the PNK, and we believe it's pronounced pink. Again, red zone app, parents, red flag, PNK, chat now, swipe and chat with new friends. And when it's ever new friends, I want you to think like spidey senses, red flag, warning, who are my kids chatting with? So you'll see right here, chat now, explore new friends, laugh with funny people, and be yourself, express yourself. Another red flag. If ever they say express yourself, Superintendent, we're finding red flag. Don't let your kids beyond that. Let your kids express themselves to parents, trusted adults, at school, at home, and stuff like that, because they'll see a lot of stuff on here. Superintendent, I'd like your feedback on these AI chatbots. What would be your tips for parents on how to dialogue with their kids before they jump on these?
Sure. I think the scary part about these is that the parents have to even know that the kids are accessing these, and it's quite hidden. So parents are busy, they're working, kids are going to school, they're on the bus. There's a lot of times when kids are not under the direct purview of the parents, and what looks like a harmless game or chatting with actual real friends could easily be one of these dangerous apps. And I think the biggest thing is really having that relationship with your child to talk about social media safety and what kinds of apps are they interacting with, coupled with a, hey, from time to time, mom or dad needs to check your phone to make sure that there's no one who's accessing you that shouldn't be trying to talk to you, and really having those conversations about safety. Using these apps, it's really like, would you drop your 8 or 9-year-old off in Grand Central Station and say, I'll come see you in a few hours? No, he'd be horrified by the potential scenarios that could play out with people accessing your child, right? Who would be trying to communicate with your child, and what would they be saying, and what would they be exposed to? And that's what these apps are doing. They're just creating a very convenient way and a hidden way for who knows who's accessing your child. So really need to be vigilant, really need to be checking the apps from time to time on your child's phone, but also establishing an open door communication. From time to time, we're going to have these discussions about what you're doing and who you're connecting with, especially ones that they're not the kids in the neighborhood that I can see you playing in the backyard with. We're going to have a conversation about your social media friends and what's appropriate and what's inappropriate.
That's $1 million advice right there. I love the parent approach, having real friends. To all of our parents watching here today, remember your school district has given you access to our 54 plus live parent events like this on lots of different topics, 12 different topics, and 450 resources. Real teens in our program. We didn't show you the teen stuff today, but we have a lot of it, and a premium parent newsletter. Be sure to use that with your district and so on, and your community and your family. Superintendent, thank you so much for joining us for this podcast episode, AI for Student Success. I really appreciate your time here today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate having an opportunity to dialogue with you. Thank you.
Thank you. To the rest of you watching, remember Smart Social's here to help keep your kids safe on social media so they can someday shine online. We'll see all of you on the next episode. Have a great rest of the day.